Hello and welcome back. Thank you for joining me. And, well, thank you for your dedication and commitment to your practice, whatever that looks like. I often say that because it's very important. In fact, your commitment to your spiritual journey, path, walk, sprint, marathon, whatever you want to call it, is the highest and best offering you could ever give anyone anywhere at any time, and nothing even comes close to that. So I just want to stress that because it's really, really important that you're doing what you're doing right now, taking time out of your busy day or your busy evening, whatever time it is when you watch this video, and paying attention to the message of our inner teacher, the Holy Spirit. It's huge. And we look around ourselves here in the world that we appear to inhabit. And we see a lot of people who don't appear to care, who aren't interested in this at all, and that may even think you're crazy for going in depth into this. Well, it's all right. They will take up the path at some point, though it may not be in this lifetime. And actually, it's none of our concern. What matters is you're here, and what matters is that there is a message for you from our inner teacher. What exactly that's going to be, I don't really know. I don't know what's going to really hit home for you today. So, what I want to invite you to do is what I want to invite you to do every time, is to stick around and find out. Today, we're wrapping up chapter 18, section 9 of the text of A Course in Miracles. It's known as the two worlds, the world of illusion and what the Course refers to as the real world, which we'll say some more about today. And we're also taking a very, very in-depth look here at spirituality, spiritual practice as an undoing, as an unmaking, or if you want to put it this way, people call it an unlearning, which, they all really kind of mean the same thing. What's going on here is that we have obstacles that are in our way. They are. They're obstacles that we ourselves have placed between what appears to be us and truth. We're not aware of it. We can't see it because of all of this interference, because of all of these obstacles that we ourselves have interposed. So, what we're doing here, and we're talking about A Course in Miracles specifically here, is we're clarifying our perception. Now, perception, the basis of what is all of the understanding of perception that you need, is that there appears to be a perceiver and a perceived, a subject, which we usually take to be this device, and an object, or billions of objects out there. They appear to be outside the subject. Subject, object, perceiver, perceived. That is the realm, the world, the illusion, as it turns out, of perception. Now, our perception is twisted around and turned upside down and warped and, well, problematic to us. Even if we have a lot of money in this lifetime, even if we have a beautiful romantic partnership in this lifetime, Even if we have moments of feeling really contented in this lifetime, they don't last because the contentment always here in the world gives way to discontent. We could go out and get the mail and see a past due bill notice a moment after feeling like everything is beautiful. Up, down, up, down. You could feel very, very inspired after watching this video. Pick up your social media feed and see something that disturbs your equilibrium. In fact, will you do that? It's quite likely, isn't it? So it's an up and down roller coaster. We're all on the spiritual path in the first place because we've recognized, however momentary the recognition may have been, and whether or not you were really fully aware or conscious of it, you have recognized that there's way more to what we call life experience than just showing up for work every day. And there is, even though that's very, very important. There's more to it than just feeding and clothing the physical body and checking our email and paying our bills and taking care of all of the myriad other responsibilities that we've assigned ourselves here in the world. Yeah, of course, there's more. There's more to it. We don't see things as they really are. We see ourselves as this, an individual human body. And then, of course, we look out and we see 8 billion plus supposedly other individual human bodies, and so on and so on. We see one separation after another, which is not the way things really are. So, in A Course in Miracles, under the guidance of the Holy Spirit, our inner teacher, whatever you wish to call it, by the way. You can call it more than one name if you want to and refer to it as your counsel. That really absolutely makes no difference at all. Under the guidance of our inner teacher, what we do is we go to work in our mind and clarify our perception. We learn one moment at a time to see things as they really are. Our perception is twisted upside down and backwards through studying and practicing, especially practicing this course. We turn our perception right side up. This is the path that we're all on, where we learn to see things as they really are. We learn to see ourselves as we really are. We learn to see what we call other people, our brother, singular, as everything really is. We learn to see the world for what it really is not, in fact. We learn to see things as they really, truly are. It's known as clarifying our perception, righting our perception, turning it right side up. You could call it purifying our perception, whatever you want to use as the word. We're learning to see things as they really are. In truth, there is only perfect oneness. Each act of kindness, each act of love, each act of true forgiveness helps us to see things as they really are. What we're doing is we're removing one act of forgiveness at a time, the interference, the obstacles that we've put up to our awareness of who, what, and where we really are, to our awareness of truth, to our awareness of perfect oneness. So you could use any number of visual analogies. I've used them all in my own practice, and they're all helpful. So take whichever of these or something else that we're not going to mention here in the video, if it helps you. One of the things that I've found very, very helpful as far as just getting an idea of what this path, this process is really like, is to think of all of us as having a veil over our face. And we take a look and we see the inside of a cloth, which may be really, really dark. It may be really thick. It may look impenetrable, but that's what we see, and that appears to be our reality. Yet there's light on the other side of it. So each act of true forgiveness, each time we connect with our inner teacher and ask for his guidance, its guidance and support, we peel a layer off of that, and the light becomes more and more visible until the veil is gone. You could also think of it as a wall that we put in front of ourselves. So one piece at a time, if it's bricks, one brick at a time, if need be, we remove the barrier. Or it could be a fog bank, a big, thick, dark, gloomy, and impenetrable looking fog bank that we're afraid to approach because it seems so real. Yet when we get there and take that first step into it, we find it gives way and we walk right through. So whichever of these you may find helpful, or if it's something else, we're removing the obstacles to our awareness of who and what we really are. As the introduction to the Course puts it, we're removing the barriers to our awareness of love's presence. Yes, God, love, presence, the all. We're removing the barriers to that. Now, when we have removed them all, in the language of A Course in Miracles, we're said to have attained what they call the real world, which is another term for clarified perception. When we see things as they really are, we go beyond perception completely. Remember, perception involves a subject and an object, a perceiver and the perceived. So when we learn to perceive that there is no separate other, that there is only perfect oneness, we go beyond perception completely. Now, our learning only takes us to the point of clarified perception. From there, truth dawns of itself. We go beyond in a different way. In other words, God takes the final step himself. We simply awaken. Truth dawns of itself when we've clarified our perception. And only then, only then. Until then, what this means is we're retaining some form of judgment. We still have forgiveness lessons to learn. And what will those be? Well, you'll get plenty of them. You might be getting some right now. Anything that's not wholly joyous. So anything that makes you angry or sad or frustrated, anything that gives you anxiety or depresses you, anything that's not wholly and completely joyous, however large or small, or however intense that feeling may appear, that is an opportunity for true forgiveness. And what we do, all that we do, is we become aware of these and we take those opportunities. Under the guidance of our inner teacher, we forgive. And when we do, it's removing another piece of the veil. We're clearing this interference, and that's what we need to do in order to see things as they really are. Once we see things as they really are, truth dawns of itself. The Course refers to it as knowledge, and of course, that's just a word. The experience is beyond all words. It's knowledge of God, knowledge of who, what, and where we all are, because we've never left our source. Ideas leave not their source. This is a prominent and often quoted statement from A Course in Miracles, which means, don't you know, that it's often quoted right here. Yeah. Ideas leave not their source. Thoughts remain in the mind of the thinker. In other words, we're known, all of us, we're known as the thought of God. God's creation, in other words, the Son of God, the thought of God. Thoughts remain in the mind of the thinker. Ideas leave not their source, capital S. We're all invited to sit with that one. Yeah. So when people describe the spiritual path as an undoing, yeah, it is. We're removing interference. We can't actually learn the real meaning of love. Its meaning is contained within itself. What we do is we remove all of the obstacles to our awareness of its totality. That's what we do. We learn here in the world, in the midst of our daily lives, to recognize all that it is not, which is very important. And we forgive and release that. We remove the barriers. We remove the obstacles. It's an undoing. It really is. And we're undoing the ego. That's what's going on. And well, this course really, really emphasizes it. So, wherever you find yourself on the path, whether you are a long-time course student some or a beginner course student or anything in between, or whether you're a student of A Course in Miracles at all, makes no difference. This series of videos is for everybody, even if you're popping in because YouTube recommended this or that you're curious to see what this thing is all about. Yeah, welcome. Welcome. There is always a message from the Holy Spirit for you here. What exactly that is again, I have no idea. I just turn on the camera and microphone and we'll see what he says. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Now we are making our way a piece at a time through the text of A Course in Miracles. There are several videos that appear that aren't in the sequence of the text, but are designed to help on your journey, to help explain some of the concepts here in A Course in Miracles so that you may get a better understanding of them. But let me stress this. It's one thing to understand these teachings with the intellectual thinking mind. That is nowhere near as important as doing the course. Spirituality, after all, is all about practical application. We all know people in the world that have accumulated one degree after another, that have accumulated book knowledge upon book knowledge and theory upon theory. And this person may or may not even appear to have absorbed any of that. Why? Well, because we really learn by putting the ideas into practice. You don't even have to fully comprehend and understand them with the thinking mind in order to put them into practice. This is incredibly important because it's how we learn the best. What happens is when we actually do the course, when we earnestly and really deep down, truly, only you would know if you're really doing it style, truly do it, what happens is amazing. Our experience shows us that the ideas are true. Our experience demonstrates to us that the ideas that we're pouring over here are in fact true, and we learn it by doing it experientially, viscerally. It sticks the best that way. So, if you have questions along the way, you are more than welcome to leave them here. This comment thread on YouTube is designed to be a space for us to interact. So if you want to just pop in and say hello, I'd love to hear from you. You're more than welcome to do that. Or just Pop questions in here into the comment thread. You never know who else on the other side of the world whom you're not likely to ever meet in person in this lifetime. You don't know if somebody else on another continent may be having the exact same thought, the exact same question, and perhaps you help all of all of the people by doing that. That's almost always the case because this is a global, truly an international community on here. Part of the benefit and the beauty of being able to use this technology of the internet and YouTube is that we can reach each other from all over the world. It's very cool. So I thank you for joining us today. If you have not yet subscribed, please do that. I'd love to have you join us. That's the prompt here, that arrow in the corner of your screen. Click that. Several videos appear each week. Thank you, of course, to those of you who have recently subscribed. There have been quite a few of you. Welcome. And if you haven't subscribed, again, that's the prompt there. Please do that, and I will see you all again very soon. Thank you for joining me.